Hey guys, welcome back to Angel Angela, and on this title, as you guys can see, I want to talk about narcissists and death. Narcissists and death. So I've talked about this many times. If you guys haven't checked out my video on narcissists and funerals, I will post the link down below. But I wanted to continue talking about this subject because I just had a death in my family, and at this moment, I still kind of feel like I'm dreaming. I feel like it's a nightmare. It's just so many things going through my mind. And I know a lot of people have suffered and went through these things and have seen how narcissists behave when there's a death in the family. They make everything about themselves. And that's why I'm making this video, because I'm so freaking pissed. I'm so freaking pissed, and I have no one to. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even, nothing matters, right? Nothing matters. When narcissistic people treat you messed up, and they hurt you, and they watch you cry, and they watch you ruin yourself, ruin your own life, when they sabotage you, when they make up these lies, when they gang stalk you, you feel like they're killing you while you're alive, right? You feel like these people literally tried to kill you. When you finally leave the narcissist and you're not obsessed over their life and what they're doing with the new supply, you're not obsessed over your family and how they're celebrating holidays without you, when everything finally makes sense and you realize the type of mental abuse and the confusion that you were going through for so long. You were loving people that didn't love you. You were loving people that couldn't even empathize with you. They didn't even have to love you. They didn't even empathize with you. It felt like they wished death on you. It felt like they were really trying to kill you. And you know the irony of it all? When you leave toxic people behind, a part of you still loves them. A part of you gets to the point where you even forgive them for the things that they've done. You're just hurt about what they did. You're hurt about the betrayal. You're hurt about the lack of accountability. You can almost move past everything they've done to you. Right? It was times a narcissist pulled my hair, embarrassed me in front of people, spit on me, left me for dead, left me pregnant, and made me go through a miscarriage all by myself, and came back like they really had empathy for me. I just handle things differently. They don't even know how to be there for you. These are not the type of people you want around when you're going through a near-death experience, because they'll make it about themselves. They won't know how to comfort you. They'll act weird. Emotions, seeing people crying, all that shit, it makes them feel weird. It makes them awkward. They're afraid of being vulnerable to people. They're afraid of showing vulnerability. They're embarrassed. It's like everything has to be a fuck evil they are. And you get to the point where you're like, nah, if I die, these people don't care. They'll probably feel relieved. They got so much hate, they'll probably feel relieved that they don't got to think about me anymore. That eventually they'll just make up another story. They'll just make up a story. Oh, me and my ex-girlfriend, my ex passed away. They'll just make up a story to get empathy from people. And act like they're really like that. Oh, it wasn't perfect, but we shared this. They'll talk about the good times. Like, as if they didn't put you through hell, as if you don't have more bad moments than good moments, as if they never did nothing to you. They still won't show any type of remorse. So I'm not making this video to get sympathy from nobody, because the reality of it is we're all going to die. We're dying every day. And what I realized while I was going through the narcissistic relationship, you think you got your whole life ahead of you. You feel like you don't even think about death. That's why the narcissist targets you, because you don't really think about these things. Or you think about them, but you ignore them, right? Or sometimes you think about these things, and that's why you reverse Hoover the people you care about, because you don't want to live life without them, or you don't want to end on a bad note, or sometimes you wish you could just part ways without all this negativity, without lies being spread. They always got to make up lies and assassinate your character. It can never be peaceful leaving a narcissist. They have to make you feel like shit. They have to make you feel like your life is worthless, and they're going to be happy and you're not. It's a competition. But guess what? They're going to die too. They know this. They fear this. And this is what I realized with a lot of narcissists that I had been around, is that there was always this deep sadness, right? Like they can't connect to people. Like, you want them to feel safe. You're there. You're there to comfort them through their pain, through obstacles in their life, through their deepest fears, through their regret. All the negative shit that they feel, they drop it on you. You don't know that these people are killing you. They're killing themselves. They don't care about hurting you. They don't care about acting like maniacs, driving like maniacs while you're in the car with them. They don't care about putting your life in danger, because they're suicidal. They're ready to go a lot of times. And they rather watch it happen to you. It's almost like they want to see a horror movie happen, and they want to be the cause of it. So what I've noticed about a lot of narcissists is that they think about death a lot. I've been around narcissists where it seems like that's all they think about. And then they get consumed with materialistic things. Oh, I got to get more money. Oh, they start trying to steal from people. They start trying to con people. They start fighting for inheritance, the family inheritance. They start going crazy. They start going mad. They're competing with you. They're literally competing with you till death. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Because it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your race. Guess what? One thing we all got in common is that we're going to die. We just don't know when or how. And sometimes the things that we fear the most are the reasons we have to be alert to who's around us and who's really there for us. Sometimes bad things happen and you don't even realize that the reason these things happen is because you had to be somewhere at a precise moment. You had to be next to someone to witness their life and to be a witness to what they went through, to witness the ending and the beginning, to reflect upon your own life, to reflect upon what you've done and how you've treated others and who you want to be and what you have to do to put your pride to the side. So you realize when you leave the narcissist behind, you start to realize that once that obsession goes away, the pain hits you because you realize that someone that you sacrificed so much for, that you were so good to. You were a real person to them. You were a good person. You might have not been perfect, but you were real. You cared. You actually gave a damn. Because trust me, when you die, these narcissists, they're pretenders. They don't really care. They only care because they think about themselves. They think about their own life. They don't empathize with you because they're almost glad that it didn't happen to them. So a lot of people that haven't experienced death, you tend to not think of it. You're like, I'm not going to spend my life thinking about dying. You're always thinking about living. You're always thinking about, I got to be positive. I got to have good energy. When you're not in control. See, the narcissist wants control of everyone and everything to the very end. And they have this ego like they're invincible. Or they victimize themselves to where only their life and the people around them, their life is important, right? But everyone's life is important. But they're putting themselves first in a way where it's diabolical, where they're hurting other people. It's sick. It's very sick. So I realized once I stopped obsessing over the people that have hurt me and what they did, I realized these people don't care if I die. They just moved on with their life like nothing. If something happens to me, you have to think about it. If something happens to someone, what is the last memory you're going to have of them? If someone brings up someone from your past and says this person passed away, and see, this is what narcissists do. They talk so much shit about you. And now someone tells them, oh, this person died. Now they act empathetic, but guess what? For a long time, they were bashing you. They know they put you in a position where you were isolated, you were lonely, you had to grieve, you had to go through illnesses all alone. And they know that. That's the last memories they have of you is abusing you. And guess what? They'll keep lying. They'll keep lying to themselves. Or they'll tell themselves, oh, I got to be there for the people around me. So now you see them being nice to other people. This is why a lot of times you see them being nice to people and you're like, why are they nice to them and not me? Because they feel like they got a point to prove. They got a point to prove. Look at me. I'm capable. It's like they're trying to show that they're capable of caring about others. And in a sick way, they want you to know that they just didn't care about you. That's where the sickness is still. That's how you know these people are sick. These people are sick. They don't give you credit. They don't give you credit for helping them mentally, spiritually. They won't give you no credit. They'll continue talking bad about you until you die. And then guess what? Now they'll just be silent. They won't say nothing. They ain't got nothing to say. They're relieved that they don't got to talk shit about you no more. I got this shit down packed with these people. They're sick people. And guess what? When they lose somebody, they can't handle that shit. They can't handle that shit. When they go through an illness or something, they don't even appreciate the people around them. They're weird. They don't appreciate the people around them that are by their side. They'll continue their narcissism. They'll continue their behavior. They'll blame you, knowing damn well they've been controlling you the whole time. They'll control you to the end and then not leave you with nothing. They'll play you. They'll make you take care of them and then not leave you with shit. And you don't care about it. You don't care about it. You're an empath. You care about the people you look out for. You don't care about that. Because you know we all gotta die sometime, someday. We won't be here forever. I won't be here forever to talk to you guys and check in with you guys. We don't think about these things when we're young, especially. A lot of times when you're young and you get involved with narcissists and they've been from one supply to the next, and you're just another target in their little rodeo. They're living life so fucking carelessly. They know they've hurt others, and yet they'll sit there and act like they're changed people, but they're just better at manipulating. Or else they would change their ways. But they're just off to waste someone else's time, feeding off of their vulnerability, feeding off of that person, sabotaging that person, taking that person away from their family and their friends. And then by the time you turn around, your family and friends are gone. You're by yourself. The narcissist leaves you by yourself. It's like they want to kill you. And they don't think about how you feel. They don't care about how you spend the last days of your life. They don't care about none of that. They're selfish people. It crosses their mind, but they're more consumed with themselves and what they have to do and what their goals are and how they need fuel and how they need new supply. Always in a rush to get new supply. Ending up with people that won't take care of them if they got ill. They don't think about loyalty, commitment. They feel like they don't need it. I'm gonna die anyway, so I might as well do whatever I want to do. Might as well sleep around with whoever I want to sleep with. They don't know if that person's gonna hurt them. They don't know if that person's going to tick them off. Sometimes they lose supply and they're out for vengeance. They're out for blood. They're hoovering people back, trying to kill people off because things didn't go the way they planned. Or they go off to the next person, trying to have the next person become everything you were to them and more. Their expectations are high on people. Once you get good supply, your expectations are high. Never satisfied. And while they're playing games and never being satisfied, they're killing people. They're killing you when you got anxiety, when you got depression, when you're crying over these people, they're killing you. Your frequency is going down. They're killing your frequency, and if you're not connected to your higher being, and if you're not connected to the people that are meant to be in your life, and they're taking you away from your destiny, your story, and they deplete you to the point where you don't have no more strength. They've killed you while you're alive. The narcissist kills you while you're alive. And then when guess what? When empaths go down a dark path, when they sabotage, when they hurt themselves, how many people you think have hurt themselves or died over narcissists and the abuse that these people do to you when they run you out of your own family? And these, you know what's crazy? These people go on like nothing happened. They're just glad it wasn't them because that's the narcissist's biggest fear. I saw it. Some of them are afraid. They're afraid to leave the nest. They're afraid of leaving their parents. And you see they treat their parents like shit. Or they talk bad about people, or they're unforgiving, or they're cunning. They're sneaky. They have a love-hate for people, but they need them because they're like, if you're not around, I'm going to die. Nobody's going to care about me the way my parent does. They don't even want to live life the right way. They don't want the responsibility of taking care of others because they feel like they can't even take care of themselves. They're looking for someone to take care of them because they feel weak. They feel like if no one is around to help them, they're going to die. This is why they sacrifice you. They use you as much as they can use you, and then they move on to the next person. They're afraid of death. They'll leave you for someone else just because that person got more than you. There's no love in their heart. It's all survival. And sometimes it's not just survival, it's greed. Sometimes it's not even survival, it's greed. They're greedy. And you know what? When you die, you can't take none of that shit. You're breaking your family apart. You're just tearing everybody's life apart. You can't take none of the things that you're striving for, the things that you want, the image you're trying to create to people. It doesn't even matter in the end. It matters who's around you. It matters who's stuck around. It matters who cares. It matters who's loyal. Who's really there when you need it. Who you know is it's about accountability. It's about people that can take accountability. Because the narcissist, they can try to imitate what they think they should do, what the right thing is to do, but you could tell they're not connected to what's happening. They almost do it in a way where it's very robotic, like it's robotic as fuck. It's like they're waiting for someone to make a move. They can't make moves by themselves. They're afraid. These are people that are very afraid. So this is why I say I've been around narcissists, and I've realized in the moment the reason I couldn't see it is because I didn't think about death. I didn't even think about my own death. It was almost impossible for me to leave that relationship, no matter how bad it got, no matter the women that I was aware of, no matter what happened. I was forgiving. Knowing that person, it's like they're killing you and you just can't leave. Sometimes you feel like you can't leave because they've killed your old life. They've brought death into your life. They brought death into your relationships with people. They brought death into your character. People don't view you the same anymore. And the narcissist is very well aware of this. They're cunning. They know people don't see you the same. They know that you stick around because you feel like you don't have anybody. Because that's what the narcissist said to me. He said, you don't love me. You don't really love me like you say you do. You just don't have anybody anymore. You don't have anyone. And I said, why would you say that? He said, because you don't. And it's crazy because I didn't feel like that at that moment. Because I'm not realizing that the choices I made to stick around with this person would be killing the old me. And killing the old me would mean every relationship I had would never be the same again. But they were aware of it. So when I got pregnant and I had that miscarriage and I was in labor, I swear to you, like 14, 15, probably more hours in pain. I suffered so much because I knew the baby wasn't going to make it. I had a dream prior to it, It's like God was preparing me. It's like God knew everything was all the things that were going to happen to me. I was dreaming about. What's crazy is when I met them, maybe 2 years into the relationship, I had a dream that I had a baby and it was taken away. And then as the years went by, I had another dream. And both dreams felt so realistic. I woke up crying on the second one. The baby was taken, and a man, an Oriental man, was like, "Don't worry, he's gonna be okay. I mean, not your baby's gonna be okay." And I remember I told my aunt, I said, I had a dream that this Asian man took the baby and was like, "Don't worry about it, it's going to be okay." And then later on, the pandemic happened. Prior to that, I had the miscarriage. The pandemic happened, and the narcissist, I knew there was no going back. It was like, I felt like it was the end of the world when the pandemic happened. I felt like, this is it. There's no going back. This is it. There's no going back. And I had this realization when I was in labor. I said, the narcissist doesn't care that I'm in pain. The narcissist doesn't care if I die right now on this hospital bed giving birth. When the baby came and the baby passed away, I couldn't even look at the baby. They said, "Do you want to bond with your baby?" I said, "No. I don't even want to look at the baby," because I was in shock. I was like, I don't want to have these memories. I don't want to have the look. I don't want to have the sight, the memory of a dead baby on my mind. So I didn't want to connect. I was like, I don't want to connect. I can't. I dissociated. I was having an outer body experience, and I was telling myself, this is death. This is death. And I felt like I died. I felt like I literally came. It's like I was conscious, right? But it was a different type of consciousness. The same type of consciousness that mothers go through when they have a child and they start going through post-traumatic depression, because you start to realize this is a real living, breathing baby that I'm going to have to take care of for the rest of my life, and that's going to need me. And you get this anxiety of knowing that you got to watch out and look out for this baby, this being in a world full of predators. And, reality just starts hitting you. And as you're raising your children, you're always afraid, afraid, making sure they're okay, hearing them out when they're getting bullied at school. This fear, right? That fear. All those fears came to me all at once. It's like I came into consciousness on another level. The difference is that I experienced death all at once. So it was like I understood the process of life. I was like, oh, this is how life happens. This is real. This is how you bring life into this world. And when their life starts, your life is ending because you're dying every day. I'm thinking about it. You're dying every day. Knowing you're raising a child that's more alive than ever. A child that feels invincible to death. They're not thinking about death. They're young. So all these things were processing in my mind, and the seriousness of it. And a part of me was like, I couldn't deal with the abuse anymore. This person has made me so sick. They've made me so sick. I can't deal with it anymore. And I realized how important it is to have people in your life that love you, that love your child. This person had no empathy for my pain, no empathy for a dying kid, a dying baby. no empathy for no one but himself, you know. And I think that the realization too was, wow, I forgave this person so many times. Like, I think that's what hits us as empaths, is how forgiving we are, because they're not forgiving like us, you know. You can't do what they do to you and they're not going to respond the same way. So I realized, you know, that they didn't care. Like, they didn't care if I had died. And someone going through something like that, to me, is like, that should be someone you look out for. I should be someone that you, at least you got enough empathy, enough respect to at least treat me with respect, right? After going through something like that. But, you know, oh, I'm glad the baby died. Oh, that's what you get. Oh, you wouldn't have been a good mother anyway. The list goes on, right? And I think to myself, because I'm so forgiving to the narcissist, and I think the reason I'm forgiving too is because I know, at least in the moment, I thought to myself, right? Well, this is what I thought to myself while I was going through all this abuse. And I'm not going to say it was all bad all the time. You know, there's good moments. That's what keeps you around, is because you want to create more good moments. In the narcissist, that they won't allow it. I was forgiving because I wanted good memories. I remember telling myself, right? I literally said to myself, I'd rather be in love with someone and love them to the fullest, even if I look like a fool. Even if I'm sitting here crying in front of everyone seeing me cry because I love you so much, I'd rather look like a fool than never love at all. And I remember telling the narcissist, like, if something happens to me, I'm just glad I got to know what it is to love someone to that extent. You know what I'm saying? So relationships, you know, intimacy, that to me is not a priority in my life. When the narcissist tries to kill you and destroy you, you realize that the fairy tale love story, certain things don't matter to you no more. You realize that you escaped and you're still alive. And some people go into these relationships and they don't end up alive after. Either that, or they end up doing something and losing their cool and snapping, and they end up behind bars over a narcissist. They end up killing themselves slowly in a jail cell over a narcissist. It's all a matter of when. We never know how we're gonna get out of here. And it's crazy to make people's life hell, knowing that life isn't forever, and being so selfish to exploit people just because you want to have your needs met, or you want materialistic things, or you can't handle life alone, so you put that burden on other people without ever giving back to those people that are helping you heal through your traumas. So you use empaths to heal, knowing, and then you go out and preach to people, knowing the sick shit you've done to people. It's crazy to me. It's mind-blowing. If you've really been with narcissists, just to hear them talk, it'll trip you out, because it's like they still don't, they get it, but they don't get it, because they don't have to live in the reality of the people they've hurt. They almost feel like, I'm safe, but they're not really safe, and they know it. They're not safe from death. They're not safe from death. That's why I say a lot of narcissists, they fear death. You don't know that. because you don't fear it. Because if you did, when people tell you to get the hell away from these people, that they're miserable beings, you would listen and you would get away from them. When people tell you they don't care about you, they don't care if when people say they don't care about you, you ignore it. But when people tell you they don't care about you, that means they don't care if you die. When people tell you don't allow people to disrespect you and cross your boundaries, that's because when someone is so nonchalant about crossing your boundaries, that means they don't care about you as a person. That means they're spitting at your image. They're basically saying you don't deserve to live, and they don't even know you, or they don't know what you're going through, and they're throwing rocks at you. So narcissists, they prey on the empath because you don't know. You're not afraid of death. You have energy. You want to live. You want to live. That's why when you come across these people, it's like you want to live. You're thinking about your plans. You're thinking about the future, not knowing you're speaking to someone who is dead inside. They're dead. They can't feel shit the way you feel stuff. They're so dead inside. They look at everybody like, you're going to die anyway, so I might as well take what I want from you. They're scavengers. There's no humanity in them. It's all about buying time with them. It's all about the image. So what I realize is that a lot of these people, they were thinking about death. They were thinking about their mistakes. They were thinking about the shit they did to others. They were tormented, and they came at you like they were victims, but they weren't victims. They were afraid of death, so they came into your life, bringing death and destruction into your life. And then they leave, and now death is following you. And the narcissist is just feeding off of someone else. So I realized that. I realized, damn, I was so forgiving. You can't just forgive these people and just keep being around them and keep enabling them to keep disrespecting you, because that's like someone wishing death on you, and you just keep saying, I'm sorry. Okay, I forgive you. Yeah, you tried to kill me. Oh, you tried to kill me and leave me for the next supply. I took you back. It's okay. I forgive you because I love you so much. I'll sacrifice myself for you. I love you so much. I'll sacrifice myself for you. I realize you can't sacrifice yourself for people that won't sacrifice themselves for you. I realize you have to be particular about why you're sacrificing yourself for someone. So you might have not had, you might have narcissistic parents, but they were good to you. They fed you. They didn't molest you. They didn't do so. You got to look at the pros and the cons. You got to think about the years that were put into molding you or trying to help you achieve success. You have to look at all the sacrifices. You have to look at the pros and cons. You can't just look at the bad. You got to look at the good too. So that also helped me realize, understanding death helped me realize that the people I care about are the people I don't really show affection to because I think that they're always going to be there. It made me realize, no, they could die at any moment. And then I stopped caring about the narcissist, taking trips, going places, doing things, because I realized I got people around me that need me. I got people around me that aren't perfect, but I was put in this place, in this position. I was put next to them for a reason. I was supposed to spend time with them while I still got them. Bad things happen so I could end up over here. Bad things happen so I could spend more time with my mother and call her every day. Where some days you're like, oh, here's my parent calling me again. I don't really feel like talking. I'll talk to them in the morning. It made me realize I couldn't ignore little things like that. The smallest things, I realized how important the smallest things are. So when I realized, wow, the narcissist will go and discard you for weeks and months and then come back like they didn't do shit. I started to realize how disrespectful that is. It's like, oh, you're not dead? I could come and use you some more. That's how I started to view it. And the more days, months, years went by, I started to hate them. I hated what they did to me. I hated what they did to me. I hated that I was so nice, so naive, so gullible. I knew even if they showed me love, I wouldn't believe it. Because they've showed me who they were too many times for me to believe it. And that's why they don't come back. Because they know at some point you're going to realize that they brought nothing but death into your life. And they're embarrassed because they know if they come around, they already know they're not going to treat you the way you want to be treated. They know they can't feel for you the way you felt for them. They know they can't get that same type of fuel anymore out of you. And even if they could, they wouldn't feel right about it. They wouldn't feel right about it because it's like, I try to kill you. Are you sure next time if I come back around, you sure you're not going to kill me this time? You sure you're not going to hurt me? They feel like you're going to do something to them. You ever notice how paranoid they are? Like you're going to do something to them. They get paranoid like you're the one they can't trust when it was them doing shit the whole time. And it's still not in you to do stuff to them because it's just not your character. Anything you've ever done is out of pain, is out of betrayal. So I realized life and death, and it changed. It literally took me, I'm telling you, I don't think I would have left the narcissist, or I feel like I would have kept taking them back if I hadn't went through that experience of that miscarriage and I seen how empathetic they were. And even then, I still wanted them. It was sick. I wanted them, but I was more aware. I had more boundaries now. It was more like, you made me go through this. And it was like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about what I did to you. I don't want to talk about that. Fuck that baby. And that's what made me hate them. That's what made me feel like I can't, I'm not chasing after them. I can't. Whoever you're with, just be with them. Just be with them. I don't care. Because I'm not doing nothing to you to deserve this. And then to top it off, right? That's why I'm speaking on this, because I'm really fucking pissed right now. Excuse me for my language, but I'm really freaking pissed. I feel like I'm in a nightmare. I feel like I'm dreaming right now. I feel like I don't want no empathy from nobody. Trust me, I don't need no empathy from nobody. I gotta live my life. Everyone gotta live their life. I don't need no empathy. I'm just here to tell you the truth, the reality, because I know a lot of you have probably been through this, and some of you that haven't been through this, you're going to go through it, whether you want to go through it or not. Some of you are afraid. You've been hiding. You're like, "Oh, I'm okay over here. I've been hiding from the narcissist." You're not preparing yourself. You're not prepared. Are you prepared? What are people going to say about you? Who are you going to be? What have you done before leaving this earth? Who have you helped? I feel like when I leave, I just want people to have good memories of me. I live every day where I'm like, I just want people to have good memories of me. I try not to get mad. I'm not perfect. I have a lot of regrets. So after that, when I had to bury the baby, all these narcissists from my family started coming out of nowhere. They literally tried to kill me, and then they show up. And that's when I made that video that I'm going to post down below, Narcissists at Funerals. Because I was shocked. I was in shock. because they really come around when you're going through it. And it reminded me of how the narcissist came around when I had the miscarriage, and then they played me again and laughed at me and was like, good thing the baby died, and you wouldn't have been a good mother. They just start sending me pictures of their new supply naked in the bed that we slept in. And I realized that these people don't change. So it's almost like they want to see your pain. It's very sick. I can't explain it, but you know what I mean. It's like they want to see your pain, and they know they're not remorseful. That's the sick part, is because you think that they're like, you think you're going to see some type of humanity. And that's what I said to the narcissist. I said, you show no humanity. I was like disgusted. I was like, you show no humanity. But when they were going through their shit in their life and they came back reverse hoovering me, they even said to me in a message, because I would ignore them, right? I was sick of the back and forth, so I ignored them. And they said, you have no, he said, you don't have any, if you have any humanity, you'll respond to me. And I said, he's saying what the fuck I said. They'll start repeating some of the same things that you say when you really need someone and you really want them around because you're going through something and you need them. They'll say some of these things when they need you, but they only need you to use you. They don't really need you. They just to use you. So during the funeral, my family, people that stressed me out while I was pregnant, talked bad about me, made up lies, sent the police to my house, sent me restraining orders, I didn't even come around these people. I'm talking about, this is how you know you're with narcissists, when they're sitting here trying to put restraining orders on you, and you haven't even came to their house in years. You don't even plan on ever going around these people, and they'll do things to make you upset. They want to go back and forth with you. You done pissed them off. You done told people about their truths, and they get mad, so they start doing weird stuff. So, all these people that tried to kill me stressed me out. And I would even have to tell myself, don't stress out because you're pregnant. I would have to tell myself people that my grandmother that raised me, oh, go tell that man to help you. Go tell that man. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want nothing to do with me, because me and the narcissist, even though we had been together for years, for over a decade, we weren't married. But I didn't care about the title. I just cared about us. I didn't care about that. But I wasn't respected because of that. So, everyone talked down on me. They were making fun of me because the narcissist finally left me when I was pregnant. They did the discard while I was pregnant. And we always had been on and off sometimes, but that time it was like, I really thought it was over, because it was, the longest I wouldn't have talked to him would have been like a week or some, or maybe 2 weeks, the longest within that decade of us being together. So not talking to them for months, I was like, it's really over. And certain people would say, oh, he'll be back when the baby is born. They don't know if you're going to die. They don't know what you're going to go through. This is the thing about narcissists. They assume things. They know when they're going to come back around. Oh, when the baby's born, I'll come back around. They don't know within that time if you die or something happened to you. That's how I know they don't know what love is. Because the people I love, I'm constantly checking on them every day just to see if they're alive, if they woke up. So I realized, I said, these people, they don't know what love is. They don't even understand it, but they want it. And they love destroying it. So the funeral comes, all these people are narcissist people come to my door. Oh, we're sorry about what happened to you. I'm talking about the whole time they were just talking crap about me, laughing at me, just I hope the narcissist looks out for you. I'm talking crazy to me. Soon as this happens, they come around. Not only that, but they tried to steal. They stole my mother's inheritance. They all got greedy and they went to my grandmother's house and put cameras everywhere. And then I would come visit. I was pregnant. I would come visit, and then they would call the police. They saw me on the cameras visiting my grandma. They would call the police, and then the police would be like, "She's not doing anything. I can't arrest her." They literally wanted me to get arrested for just visiting my grandma. It was crazy. These people come to my door. I'm so vulnerable. My instincts was to protect myself, so I lashed out in rage. Because to me, it's like, why are you here? Why the fuck are you even here? I'm going through something, and before this happened to me, and I was very sick and throwing up all the time, no one cared. People talked bad about me. People made up lies about me. People took my mother's inheritance. They didn't feel like my mom, or they didn't feel like we were part of the family. My mom even trusted her siblings with her own home. They had their names on the home, on my mother's home. Went through arguments because you wouldn't take your name off of my mother's home. It's not your house. It's weird. Y'all doing all this illegal, weird stuff. I'm exposing it. Now I'm suffering. I'm going through something. And you show up. So I lash out. Told them to leave. Get the hell out of here. Get on. I had a cousin that her mother came. And she said, "Oh, your cousin, she told me to say, get well soon and to pay her respects for what you're going through right now." I was so depressed. And I said to myself, I never see this aunt ever. Like, I haven't seen her in years. I said, she's only coming around to look good to everybody else. In my mind, I'm thinking, I'm like in a dream state, and I'm paying attention. They think I'm vulnerable because I'm crying, I'm in pain, because they can't connect to you. They don't know what the hell's going on in your mind. But while I'm grieving, because I don't care what you think of me, I'm crying because I feel like fucking crying. But I could see it in their eyes that they didn't understand. I could see it in their eyes that they weren't really there for me. They didn't even want to hug me. It was like, it was very robotic. So when you're dealing with deaths, you're going to see that narcissists are very robotic. They don't really know what to do or say. A simple hug, that's all someone needs. And these are, they're not very affectionate people, so it feels awkward to them to hug people unless it's their immediate, their kids and stuff like that. And even them, a lot of times they're not even affectionate even to their own kids, depending on the type of narcissistic parent you have. But I could just tell they weren't here for me. They were there to gossip. They were there to go and inform other people about what I was going through, because they never had been around in my life until that moment. And I was thinking to myself, these people don't give a damn until it happens to them, right? That's just the thought I was having. She said, your cousin said, to pay her respects to you. And I'm like, she don't give a damn. If that was the case, she could have shot me a text. She could have called me. She could have sent me a letter, a card, or something. Get well. Sent me flowers, anything, right? So I knew it was bullshit. They say things that it's like it sound good, but it's not how they really feel. They just say things. They're robotic people. When I see people go through pain, I really feel their pain. It hurts me. It hurts me too when I know I can't put myself in their shoes, but I could feel it. I don't know what I haven't went through it, but I could put myself in your shoes. Seeing you in pain makes me feel in pain, right? And I'm not embarrassed to show affection to someone I could tell they're grieving through something. But these people are very robotic and fake. Everything is a show. She came and then she started taking pictures, and I'm thinking in my head, why is she taking pictures? This is the generation we're living in. You're coming here. I didn't invite you, first of all. Taking pictures of the baby's casket. You're telling me people are sending their respect, but they ain't say nothing to me. Certain people even question me if I might have been doing something that caused the miscarriage. Like, were you doing something that caused this? Like, they almost wanted, like, they were in such disbelief. Like women don't have miscarriages unless you're doing something or you did something. It was this, like, disbelief. Like, they didn't believe that it's just something that happened naturally. Like, they had to be the ones to diagnose what happened. It's like they're just around to get information. They just want information. And to me, it's like, for you to even say that, it's disrespectful. So, I started to see that the behaviors of narcissistic people, they come around when you die, when something happened. Like, they care, but they're the same people that are putting you and your family at risk the whole time. Then, maybe like a month later, I'm not lying to you, like a month later, I get a call on the phone from my cousin, and I'm like, oh, what the hell? Who gave her my number? Like, she didn't even call me when my baby died, right? She's like, I just want to say that I just lost my baby. I just went through a miscarriage. And she's like, I just feel so bad for what happened to you. So you're not on drugs. You're not doing anything to cause you to lose a baby or anything. So that's letting you know that you guys can't sit up here and judge me and try to make up stories that aren't true just to justify my pain and what I'm going through. Don't judge people, because then when it happens to you. So I knew I was being judged. So when it happened to them, I'm like, this is why you don't judge people. So it's like God was telling me, don't judge people. Don't judge people. But these narcissists, you guys, they make me so freaking pissed. But I learned that I can't judge them, because sometimes they got to get hit really hard on the head. I'm not lying. Some of them got to literally go through traumatic events for them to even get the slightest bit of empathy for what they've done. And a lot of times it's hard for them to change even then. But they get a glimpse of that shit. It's like they're going to get real life karma, real life glimpses of the shit they've done to others, but they're going to ignore it. They're going to ignore God's power. They're going to ignore it because they're going to think this is just life. But it's funny the way it happens, the patterns of it. You know what I'm saying? So I realized, oh, she going through it herself. She's experiencing life and death the way I did. That shit is crazy. Nobody understand it till it happened to them. It's one thing giving life to a kid, going through post, traumatic stress, and going through the cycles, because now you have responsibility. You have a life. But having a life, being born and death all at once, it's like you're usually happy because there's life, there's a new life. So when you're gone, there's still a part of you carries on. But when you go through death, it's like a part of you doesn't carry on. You're like, oh shit, does that mean if I don't have kids, I'm just going to die and part of me is never going to, that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So I was just going through the motions, and I realized, oh, she finally gets it. So it finally hit me. Most people don't understand others because it's like if I lived a whole different lifestyle from you, and you lived a good lifestyle, but you are stressed out about certain narcissists in your life. And to me, your life might not been that hard. I might be like, I wish I had your life, but that let me know you can't judge others. You can't judge people's pain. You can't compare your life to other people, no matter no matter the race, no matter the finances, because a life is a life, we live and die. So I realize most people don't understand until it happens to them. Most people do evil onto others until they learn their lesson the hard way. That's how most people learn, is through going through the lessons, going through the pain. So I also knew I had to forgive people for their own ignorance, because I knew that the reason they were ignorant is because they haven't experienced certain things like death. So I understood, oh, people don't understand that death. So a little while after that, my friend, her mother dies, and I just started bawling out, I started crying. I was just like, it's crazy, right? It's like, the reason I felt so much pain is because I felt like I could just imagine what she feels like, because that's one of my biggest fears, is like my parent dying, because I only have one parent, right? So it's like you learn the deeper meaning of life through narcissistic relationships. You learn not to waste your time. Like, I know a lot of these people have hurt you, but you learn not to waste your time on shit that don't even matter no more. You learn not to waste your time gossiping. You learn not to waste your time in just things that just don't, arguing and putting yourself in a situation where you could lose your life with someone who feels like they have nothing to live for, you know? So I went through that. I saw how narcissists, they come around like little roaches when people die. And I thought it was crazy, because it kind of reminds you of like a movie where that person goes up and they start to pay, their respect to the person that died. And they didn't even get along. You're like, why are you even there? It's like, oh, I just want to make sure he did. I just want to make sure she did. It's like, there's no real reason for you to be there when you're not there to validate, or you're not there to pay your respect, or you're not there to ask for forgiveness, or, hey, we might have not gotten along. We might have went through our ups and downs. I apologize for not hearing you out. I apologize for the things I said. There's no remorse in them. It's like they're just there to make themselves appear like they care. It's very crazy. And just like the people, when you experience death, it's like you're having this out-of-body experience where you can't even process shit. Sometimes what I also witness is that sometimes people even laugh and smile. They're out of anxiety. Like, they'll have so much anxiety, they'll laugh, because it's like, I don't know what to do. There's no emotion. You can't come back from death. So people will even kind of like, they're trying to ease the environment. There's this silence that it's like you can't explain that silence. So people want to say things to make you feel better, but it's not going to make you feel better, because there's nothing you could do to change it. So this is what I realize about death, and what I realize about narcissists, and what I realize about how they have a fear for death, and they put that fear onto you, and they destroy people, and they don't think back on the people they've destroyed. They don't take accountability. They're so consumed with themselves. They're so consumed with money, with an image, how they look with people. They're so stubborn. They don't want to admit their wrongs. A lot of times they just want to show up and act like they have empathy for you, but they never want to get down and have serious conversations or apologize for their behavior. They just want to act like nothing happened. Like, oh, look, I'm here for you. And if you start bringing up their behavior, or you're expecting an apology, or you're expecting them to prove that they are really empathetic, they don't want to prove. They don't want to take the steps to prove that. And what they'll just do is turn around and bash you I went to their funeral. I went there to support them, and they ran me off. They told me to leave. They just victimized themselves more. It's crazy. They told me to leave. They told me they didn't want me there. They treated me bad. They don't think about all the times they treated others bad. So I say this because I just went through a death in my family with my little cousin dying. He's only 18 years old. He's only 18 years old. He was having seizures for a long time. It was all this family drama going on, fighting for inheritance, holidays coming up. The kids are sad because they can't go and be with their cousins because the adults are fighting. These people can't even put their pride to the side for the children. My little cousin just died after Christmas. Right after Christmas, he's dead. And all I could think about is he kept saying he misses getting together with the family. And guess what? They were sitting up there holding my grandmother hostage because they done took over her finances, holding her hostage. They got their kids, they got their grandkids, they're celebrating Christmas. And here is my aunt by herself and her family. Here I am by myself and my immediate family. Here we are while everyone else is laughing and stuffing their mouths with tamales and turkeys and whatever else and music and drinks. Not thinking about the children because they're acting like children. Narcissists are acting like children their damn self, that they can't even put their pride to the side to understand that we all die. There's no point on fighting for finances. The kids don't even think about dying. They don't even think about finances. They're thinking, where are my cousins at? They're thinking Christmas holidays aren't the same anymore. So all these adults can put their pride to the side. And guess what? Now that this 18-year-old boy is dead, you know what these people do? They show up. They show up just like they did when my baby died. They torment you. They abuse you. They talk bad about you. They were just talking bad about her prior to Christmas because my aunt, her son don't talk to her, and she's blaming my other aunt. Yo, she don't talk to me because she puts stuff in his ear because we don't get along. Your son don't talk to you because he don't want to talk to you. It ain't got nothing to do with her. He just went to her because he knows that she knows that you're a narcissist. They both called you a narcissist. He talked to me because he knows that I know you're a narcissist. So you got people that know you're a narcissist that don't want to be around you because you think everything is about you and you're old as fuck. You want to be the center of attention and your time is up. You put that energy into the new generation. So now you want to play, you know how you want to be kumbaya when her son doesn't wake up out of his sleep in the morning. She said, she thinks he had a seizure and just didn't wake up. So while my aunt and her husband go into the room and find their son dead in the bed, not expecting it, telling him to wake up, making breakfast, and he's gone. And now everyone's coming around acting like they care. And what's crazy is that the night before this happened, I was crying and I was just like, I'm so tired of living. And I was going through an episode, and it's like, for the most part, I'm at peace, and I realize that I'm here. I'm still here for a reason. I'm still here to take care of the people around me that need me. But sometimes I put my all into others and I think to myself, like, I didn't really get to live like that. Is this everything? Is this all? And I was having a moment. I was just so sad. And then I wake up to a bird in my window yelling, and I'm like, why is there a bird yelling so loud in my window? It was yelling so loud. Then the news got to me that he died, and I said, bird is yelling. I was talking about dying last night, and here my little cousin that did, I sat here and said I didn't even get to live, and I lived way longer than him. He's just a baby. I'm thinking about, oh, things didn't go the way I thought they would go. I was having a moment. I said he didn't even get to experience being in love and experiencing heartbreak, and he didn't even get to experience that. Sometimes we think about what people have done to us, and these are just experiences in our life. It doesn't make us who we are. And I think that we need to understand that, appreciate that. Appreciate your children, even if they're by a narcissist. Appreciate your children. Love them. Love them. Don't make them feel like because they don't have a parent around. Don't make them focus on the bad things. Make them focus on the good things, on the now. And and you know what's crazy, when all this stuff was going on, and family is split up, I'm telling my aunt, because I learned the hard way when the baby died. I said, you got to focus on who's around you from now on. It's a promise that I made to myself. Look out for whoever's around me. Whoever the fuck around me, that's who I'm looking out for. And that's just what it is. Bad or good. Because we all gonna leave anyway. So I told her, I said, even if you're not around the whole family and we're not having these big parties like we used to, and we're just in our homes, just our small families and feeling alone, I said, focus on your kids, focus on your family. Even though it's been years since we've celebrated with the rest of the family, because we've been scapegoated out of the family, we're the black sheep. I said, spend your time with your family, enjoy them. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes God knows things that we're not aware of. I remember her calling me all the time. Oh, my son just had a seizure. I get so scared. I go and check up on him at nighttime, and I could feel her anxiety. I could feel her pain. I knew that was her biggest fear. So me watching her go through her biggest fear fucked me up. Like, I'm fucked up right now over this, because I seen how fearful she was, and I see how her and her kids were affected by the family scapegoating them. So these grown-ass adults kept children from being around their siblings and cousins and family. They took the joy, the love out of everything. And then when death comes, guess what? I already knew they were coming. And I couldn't bite my tongue, you guys. When I saw these people at the hospital, I could not bite my tongue. They came trying to act like they were empathetic, knowing damn well they were just talking shit about a week ago. Oh, my son doesn't talk to me, but he talks to her. He's supposed to be on his mother's side. She over here mad, taking all this shit out on her sister, hurting her kids, hurting the family, hurting the relationships we all have with one another. Tearing the whole fucking family apart because she's so fucking greedy and bought a big ass house that she can't even afford. Convincing my grandmother not to leave anybody with nothing, just them, all them, greediness. But you know why she showed up? You know why they show up? Because when they show up, it's not that they feel bad for you. I'm on to their asses. I'm on to these narcissists. This time, see, I'm having a outer body experience right now, just like I did when the baby died. The difference is this time it's not happening to me, it's happening to her. So I felt I had to protect her, and I got filled with rage, you guys, when I saw these people. Because I think about death every day. So when I see people playing these stupid ass games, When I see narcissists playing, it makes me mad because I think to myself, you just ruin the holidays for the kids. I'm not just thinking about myself. I'm thinking about the kids. I'm thinking about everybody. These people only think about themselves. They don't know how they're affecting that kid that they're taking the joy out of. Now his seizures are getting worse. You don't know if he would have been surrounded this Christmas by love and by family. You don't know if that would have changed his health, if that would have gave him more energy. You know what I'm saying? So it makes me mad that narcissists behave this way like they're fucking kids. These people are older than me and they don't get it. It's scary. They've lived longer than me and they still don't get it. My grandmother is almost 100 years old and still don't get it. She's sitting there crying and shit. You're the reason all your daughters fighting. You the reason, because you ain't put a stop to this shit. You just felt like because you're old, you wanted to, I'm going to leave everything to this daughter and I just hope I die soon so I don't got to deal with them fighting. Nobody even knew the shit they was doing behind closed doors. They had a facade going on just to keep everyone together until she died, until shit started coming to light. And the worse shit gets, these people don't apologize and it gets worse, and then they come around when something bad happens. So I couldn't help it. And I told my cousin, which his brother died, I said, I'm sorry. I said, I know y'all grieve. I know everybody grieving, but this shit just makes me so mad. I can't be fake. I can't let people try to sit here when someone is vulnerable and take advantage of it. If you really sorry, apologize for what the shit that you've been doing this whole time. Don't come here, I'm sorry for your loss. Bitch, apologize for the shit that you've been doing. If you gonna come correct all the way, because that's what I would have done. If I come to see someone I know I've been talking big shit, I'm not gonna come and act like I care. I'm gonna have to come clean about my part in the shit I've been doing. I apologize for what I've put you through. I apologize that you feel alone, and I want to be here for you for here on out. I want to be here for you. Be real. Be a real person. These people are weird. They're fake. I went off to the point the nurse said something to me, and I told the nurse, I said, don't get involved with what the hell I'm talking about, because I'm sitting down. I'm not even standing up. I'm not aggressive. I'm not trying to fight nobody. I'm not in nobody's face. If I want to say something to my fucking family and I feel like somebody wrong in something, that's what the fuck I'm going to do. I say, you need to go back and do your job, because you don't understand what we're going through right now. You don't understand what we're going through. She left and she shut the fuck up like she was supposed to. And then that's when I looked at my cousin and I said, see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Even the nurses, the doctors, they're so, you know what's crazy? Let me tell you what's crazy. I'm telling my cousin, these people working, they're so desensitized to what we're going through. To them, it's just a job. And then they want to start acting like Karens and shit. Acting weird. You listening to me and my conversation with my family, and you don't like it because you feel like it's going to start an argument. You don't see nobody fighting or getting to that point. Just don't say nothing. Don't say nothing unless you see something getting out of control or fighting or something. Don't say nothing. There's freedom of speech. If I want to say something, I can say something. Don't say nothing to me. I'm telling my cousin, you see how desensitized people are? They're all in our shit. You know, with a smile on their faces. Then when my cousin's getting pushed, my little 18-year-old cousin's getting pushed so they can go put him on a freezer, the nurses or whoever they are, the people the helpers that they got in there pushing people around, they were pushing him towards another spot in the hospital where they were going to put him in the freezer. And the whole time we're walking, consoling my aunt, she breaking down in tears. She's screaming. My uncle starts shedding tears. Cousins is crying. All I could think about is just consoling them, hugging them. I know how fucking scary that shit feels. I couldn't even imagine her pain. I know is that's why I say don't have empathy for me. I know her pain is way more than what I ever went through. But because I know what death feels like, because I live it every day, I think about death a lot. I think about my safety. I think about who I talk to. I'm cautious about friendships, relationships. I think about everything that could go wrong. I pay attention to red flags. Everything I do is to protect the people around me. I don't think about myself no more. So I'm consoling, and while I'm consoling, they're rolling the bed down the hallway. These motherfuckers are smiling and laughing, and I look at my cousin. I say, you see their faces? You see how there's no compassion? The least they could do is just have a straight face and just not say nothing while walking. They're sitting here talking like I'm gonna go to lunch, like this is normal. We push people up here all the time. People die. They're so desensitized. They don't have to empathize. They could just have sympathy. And what sympathy? Having respect. Knowing when you should be laughing and playing around and when you shouldn't. And I said, this is crazy, because this is how I felt when my baby died. I felt like people were playing. I'm in pain and people around me playing games. I was having an outer body experience. And this time I said, I'm protecting anybody who's playing with my family. I'm calling these fucking nurses out. I don't care. You think I'm crazy? I think you're crazy. Because I don't understand how people can work in these departments where they see death all the time and just be walking around smiling and laughing in families' faces. I don't see it. I understand your job is your job. Sometimes you don't want to be stuck living in that world of death because you're like, it's still a job and I don't want to go home feeling fucked up. But the least you could do is have some fucking respect. These people, I don't know how these people got jobs at this point. I don't know how these people got jobs. I really be shocked. I look at all these people like they're just dead people walking. They work jobs where they see death, but a lot of times some of these people don't even understand death because they haven't had it happen to them, or they haven't lost someone that they're close to yet, or the people that they lost, they never really cared for like that. You know what I'm saying? So I went off, you guys. I went off on the nurse. I was like, look, I'm not standing up. I'm sitting down. If I want to say something to my family, I say what the fuck I want. I'm not fighting. It's not getting physical. It's not going to get physical. If you see me standing up and acting up and it looks like it's going to get physical, then go do your job, call security. But if I want to say something to somebody, if I want to look at my family in the eyes and tell them, hey, you want to show up? You should have been showed up. You should have been there for people when they were going through it. When you should have been thinking about how your sister felt every night, being scared her son wouldn't wake up alive the next day, being paranoid all the time because you have a son that got seizures, who has big dreams, who wanted to be a cop, who wanted to go to the military, who had all these hopes, but they knew that they had this obstacle, that they went through points, and they went through cycles in their life where they realize I got seizures, I got a lot of odds against me, and that shit will depress you as a kid, feeling like you don't have what it takes. You know what I'm saying? Not just that, but my cousin got bullied a lot. He had just graduated high school. I had just spoken to him. He had got bullied at school a lot. There were kids fighting him, knowing he had seizures, kids socking him in the face, fighting him. And I would tell him, I said, don't be fighting with these kids. Like, don't even hang around them. Like, really cut all your friends off, because you get seizures. It's dangerous. These people can hit you and something can happen to you. For real. You know what I'm saying? He was just glad high school was over and he didn't have to deal with that. And I thought to myself, all those kids, they get to go to college. All those kids that put their hands on him, knowing he has seizures, they get to go to college. They get to go home to their families. They get to go out and get married and have kids. And his life is over right after high school. And their life is just going to go. And they're not going to, and guess what? They're not going to think, they're going to forget what they've done to you. They're going to forget the times they hit you. They're going to look at it like, oh, it's just the memory from the past. Some of them might even feel bad. I can't believe the last memory I got is beating up a kid that got seizures. Not being able to control my anger and hitting this kid that they were a kid at heart. They weren't. This was a child. They were still playing video games. They were a kid. They still wanted to go to the movies. Mom, take me to my friend's house. They was a kid, 18, but still a kid at heart. Trying to fit in with people that are doing adult things and living fast lives and trying to fit in with people and just not fitting in and being bullied and being hit. And all that just fucked me up. It fucked me up because it made me, all these narcissistic kids are bad as fuck. Their parents are bad as fuck. Excuse my language. YouTube, hopefully don't block me or spam me, or you know what I'm saying. It just made me think how messed up it is, how people do things to people and they don't think about what they do. They put their hands on their brother. They put their hands on their sister. The narcissist physically abuses you, mentally abuses you. They act like you're going to live forever. They act like they don't care what they do to you. Like, they almost look at it like, I don't care that I destroyed you. I don't care that I've abused you. If you die, I don't care. I can live with that. These are sick people, you guys. So, you know, I feel bad because I said something to these people. I even told my aunt, I said, I know this is about you and I feel sorry, but I had to say what I had to say to these people because I never see them. And the moment I see them, they come around like they care, but they've been tormenting you for years now. And to me, if I've been tormenting someone for years and gossiping about them and doing a whole bunch of weird shit, not leaving my sibling with nothing and holding my mother hostage. My aunt can't even see her own mother. Then they got cameras in the room. You can't even have conversations with my grandmother. They controlling everything. And then when you say that's elderly abuse, they said, no, it's not. We just want to make sure my mom is alive. So basically, they have the fear of death. Narcissists have the fear of death. They fear that they're going to lose their source of supply. They're going to lose the people that have been giving them fuel. They're flying monkeys. They have fear of death. But they don't care when you go through it. And then they come around because they know it's wrong to not let you see your mother when you're grieving something. So they bring her along, but they don't really care. Or else they would think about these things before they happen. They would think about how they treat people. So that's what I said to them when they were there. I said, you should think about this is what I said. I said, you should think about how you treat people every day. That's what I said. I said, now you want to come around when something happens. You should treat people good. This is why you treat people good every day. So when moments like this happen, now you coming around and you look awkward. You look like you're scared to hug her because you know you've been talking that big shit all this time. Now you're scared to hug her. You're scared to be affectionate because you know you almost tried to kill her. And now you come around acting like you care. Now you come around bringing her mother around when she's been crying for her mother for months, for years. She's been crying for her. I've been crying for my grandmother. I've wanted to be around her. I've had the police called on me because they want all of my grandmother's love. They're so fearful she's going to die that they want all of her for themselves. They don't want to share her. These are greedy, selfish people. Money hungry people. They might die before you, and they've destroyed everything for what? They're fighting for money. They might die before you. They're fighting for money. They might die and never get to see nothing. They think it's gonna make them happy. It's gonna bring them joy. It's gonna bring them stability. They feel like, oh, at least I'm gonna be comfortable in my house. I got money coming in. They're just, oh, at least I got money. Until that loneliness kick in, until their karma kick in, until now they have to suffer a death in their immediate family. And then they come around you acting like they feel sorry for you, but they only feel sorry for themselves. They're only thinking about themselves. They're thinking they're doing you a favor. Oh, I'm going to bring my mom over there because that's going to make me look like a good person, because that's going to make me look like I'm not that selfish, because at least I'm going to bring my mother around for a little bit so you could be with them through this shit. But guess what? You didn't allow her to see her mother this whole time. It doesn't feel special. And then when she's crying, I could see it in their faces that they're scared to comfort her. Is it okay if I come in? Looking all stupid. Is it okay if I come in? Y'all, I don't know if I did the right thing. I felt bad. I told the people around me. I told my uncle, I'm like, I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to do all that. Embarrass y'all. I didn't mean to make it about me or anything. I just don't like that she's been suffering this whole time, and I don't like that fake stuff. This is why you should treat people good every day. Don't come around when someone died and then try to act like you care now. It's weird. You was just talking crap a week ago. So when it comes to narcissists and death, they'll come around to take pictures. They'll come around just to make sure you're dead. They'll come around to make themselves look good to others, to make it seem like, look, this whole time they've been abusing you, they've been tormenting you, and now they pop up. See, I come around when it matters. No. When there's no reason to be fighting, that's when it matters. Not when shit happened. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they do. And then what's crazy is they came around and they didn't even apologize. They don't apologize for the stuff they've done. Because that means they would have to take accountability, and accountability is allowing you to see your mother when you feel like it, allowing you to talk to your mother on the phone when you want to without controlling who she talks to on the phone. That would mean taking accountability, sharing what you deserve. You were on the living will, put you back on the living will. But because they know they're not going to change their ways or take accountability, they'll just come for the show to make themselves look good. And if later on you say anything about them, they're just going to say, oh, I was there when your son died. Now they act like you owe them something because they did something that to them it was nice. These are people that just don't get it. They don't get it until it happens to them. And what's crazy, they fear death, but they get some type of joy off of you dying. It's like the Hunger Games. They're like, at least it didn't happen to me. At least it didn't happen to me. But they become afraid. They become afraid of losing their primary source. They become afraid of losing their enablers. They become afraid of losing their flying monkeys. And guess what? When a narcissist wishes death on you, just like all your worst nightmares come true, their worst nightmares come true too. And that's why you got to be careful around these people, because they'll come to you as victims or people that have went through trauma or who have suffered loss or they've suffered deaths in their family. But some of those, if they're a narcissist, they're going to come and take that shit out on you. You're going to feel sorry for them, and they're just going to take it out on you. You're going to wonder, why did I feel sorry for these people? Because they're just wicked to their core. They don't even see what they're doing is wrong. They see it, but they don't care. They see things in a different way, where it's almost like they make up things to justify their actions. They were trying to make it seem like I was crazy. They had this look on their face like, this bitch is crazy. This isn't the time to say anything. This isn't the time to say anything. No, this is the fucking right time to say something to you, though. This is the right time for you for me to say, so to step up for her, because she's grieving. When you're grieving, you can't process what's happening around you until later on. You start to realize you were like having an outer body experience, and you start to realize how people were treating you, how they were talking to you. And guess what? I didn't hear no apology. All I hear is sorry for your loss. So to me, it's like, you ain't apologizing for the shit you did. And you coming around, it's weird. If you're going to come around, come correct. If you really want forgiveness and you really want to show you're there for someone, ask for forgiveness. Ask them to forgive you. Tell them you want to put everything in the past. Tell them you love them. These people scared to hug you. These people scared to show affection. They in shock as well. They don't know what to do. I'm looking at everybody. I'm rubbing people's backs. I'm rubbing my aunt's back. I'm like, these people don't even know how to be affectionate. It's scary. They're like scared. They like, I don't know. They're afraid. And what's crazy is that no one understands her pain. And I know that type of pain is the type of pain where no one can console you, but it feels good to have someone help, rub your back and be there for you. It just feels good because you feel alone. You feel like you're alone experiencing a outer body experience, and nobody gets it. And when my baby died, she was there for me, so I felt like I had to be there for her. And she always said, she always told me she saw me as a daughter. All her kids, all my cousins, they always say they see me as their sister. They're hugging me, I'm hugging them. It's always love there. So to me, it's like, I don't believe just the way everything happens. It's like you're never really alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went through my obstacles. I don't get along with my family, but this is the only person that showed up for me. And when she went through something, I knew I had to show up for her. I knew that's all life is about, living and dying. We got to be there for each other. That's what family does. Got to be there for each other. That's all that matters. These people been fighting and talking shit and just come up like nothing. Nah. And then sometimes you think to yourself, well, maybe something big has to happen for these people to change. I think that too, but when I study these people, they're not affectionate. They don't got really nothing of substance to say to you. They're not even trying to put themselves in your shoes, and if they do, it's only to think about themselves. They won't take accountability. They won't apologize for what they've done. They won't change their actions. They won't say, oh, I'm gonna give you part of your inheritance. Oh, I want us to be close. They don't say none of the right things you want to hear. When you're ill, when you're going through death, these people are not going to say what you want to hear, how you want to feel, comfort, empathy. You're not going to get that from these people. It's going to be fake, and you're going to feel it, that it's fake. And you're going to feel that they're not really, it's like they're not connected. It's like this, to them, it's like, this is the best I can do for you. These people don't change, you guys. They just don't change. And to me, I'd rather not have people even pretend. You don't even have to pretend with me. I'd rather just burn me to ashes and throw me away, for real, than have a whole bunch of fake people standing around knowing I suffered in silence for years and no one was there for me. And everyone looked at me like I was crazy for expressing how I feel, or I was crazy for calling people out on their bullshit, even though I know it's true. My aunt said to me, she said, "What did you tell them?" I said, "I told them this is why you treat people nice every day, not when something happened. This is why you treat people good every day. This is why you try to be a good person. Even when people are being evil to you, guess what? It's better to be good, because guess what? You don't want to have thoughts and memories and trauma in your head of how you treated someone or arguing with them over nothing. You don't want to have that in your heart. You want to know that you tried your best to be the best human being you could be. These people are sick. They don't think they're sick people. They only think about themselves. That's why they show fake empathy, because they're really thinking about themselves while you're going through pain. They're not empathizing with you. They're empathizing with themselves. They're thinking about themselves, because guess what? They're not going to change their ways after this. They're not going to mend the relationship and take accountability for all the things that have kept everyone at war. So this is just something I wanted to share with you guys, because I still can't believe it. I'm still in shock. I feel hopeless, because I'm someone who, I try to make people feel good, right? I try to tell people some real shit, and I want people to feel good, but death is something that we all got to experience. We don't want to think about it. Sometimes we're afraid because we don't know how it's going to happen. That's the fucked up part. We think about our children. We think about if something happens to us, who's going to take care of them. This is why it's important to have a family dynamic. Narcissists don't care about family. They having babies with everybody. What happens when that mother dies? Is the narcissist going to be responsible, or are they going to keep living their life and keep making kids with other people? All that stuff matters. And it takes a toll on you. It takes a toll over your life. You start feeling like you're not going to make it. You start feeling like your kids are not going to make it. And the narcissist is just ding, 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 ding to the next supply like nothing. You know what I'm saying? So be grateful. If you don't got these people tormenting you, if you got out alive, I don't expect people to handle things the way I did, because I feel like I should have really not said nothing. But you guys, I was so angry. Because I felt like, how dare you show up acting like you have some type of sympathy, empathy. You was just talking shit a week ago. You've been talking shit for years. You've been doing shit for years. How dare you? You should think about this. You should think about the kids and holidays and the shit that you do to affect children. Because my cousin was sad he wasn't around the family. This affects kids. Narcissists affect kids. Narcissist parents affect their own children even. You know what I'm saying? They don't think about children like you're going to die, or they might die before you, but being an elder, you got more responsibility. You can't act like a kid no more, because kids don't see death the same way someone who is fully conscious sees death. Kids they doing things, you're telling them, don't go over there, make sure you call me, and they think you're over exaggerating, because they don't think they can go out and end up dead, or someone could do something. They don't think about those things. They think they're invincible. So all you can do is give love. do the right thing. Don't get mad at your children. Don't bash them. Don't label them, because you don't know. Don't judge them. Kids aren't perfect. You don't want your last memory to be, you treating your kid bad because they don't want to do what you tell them to do. All you could do is do your best. All you could do is show them love. Teach them, even if they don't want to follow what you teach. Because at least you did everything to the end. You know what I'm saying? So, you guys, I know I rambled on for a long time, but these videos are the only way I can get things out. I literally talk in these videos more than I talk in person. This is how I express what I feel, what I see, what I observe. And this one right here, this one really messed me up. This one really messed me up because he was just a kid. He was just 18. We had went, out on a trip to a cabin, and I got to talk to him. I got to talk to him about kids and kids that were bullying him and fighting him, and how he would go to the skating park and they would be waiting at the skating park to fight him. And I was telling him, don't even go to the skating park. Go to a different one. And it's like, these kids, they're so bad and narcissistic. They don't even think about what they do. And guess what? When it happens to them, they want empathy. And their parents don't teach them how to treat people. Their parents don't talk to them about death. They think they're invincible. People need to talk to their children. They need to talk to their children about death. That's a conversation that parents want to avoid. They want to keep their children like kids. But guess what? These kids, they're getting out of hand. They're getting out of hand. They're getting out of hand. And these adults, they're no better. They act like children. They affect children's lives. They're back and forth with the narcissists. They're playing games with their kids' lives and don't care. These parents are just as bad. It's crazy out here. So, I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace, and your healing. I hope that maybe you found some peace, some healing, understanding, know what to look forward to when these things are happening to you. You're not crazy. These people, they don't stop. They don't stop their games. There's no true compassion, no accountability. They're mad that you're exposing them. That's what they're mad at. They're like, at least I was trying to be nice. No, take accountability. Ask for forgiveness. I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.